Prime is to be investigated by the FDA. So, Senator Chuck Schumer, which is a very decorated and public figure, says he has some concerns about the health issues that Prime could be causing these young kids. So, apparently, the Prime drink contains 200 milligrams of caffeine, or about 6 times more caffeine than a standard 12-ounce drink of Coca-Cola. And his concern is that it says that it's not intended for anybody under the age of 18, but it's been all the marketing and the fan base of these influencers is pretty much dominated by the age group under the age of 18.
Yep.
And then who's buying it? All these young kids. And then what's happened on the business side is that they've gone and done deals with Barcelona, the Dodgers, UFC, and all these other big names and big groups. So they're everywhere. And now all of a sudden, Chuck Schumer's got an issue with the substances that are inside these drinks. What are your thoughts? Is this a political move?
Well, I'm not going to say it's a political move, but what I will say, and I think I shared this with you before, is that if you read enough on all of the sports drinks that are out there, the sodas that are being sold, none of them are good for you. There are very few, and I think if you're looking at electrolyte replacement, you've got the Gatorades and the Powerades as kind of the leaders in that category. They're owned by Coke and Pepsi. Body Armor was a player, and Coke bought them. Now you have Prime in there, kind of poking the bear. Obviously, they've got some star power behind them, and they're making some big moves, with some marketing and sports alliances. My initial question is that my initial thought is, well, Gatorade and Powerade aren't going to just let them come in the door. We've seen BioSteel, also another one that jumped in and got the NHL. But that was one that was obviously much more scientific and all that kind of stuff. And so, I think there's a couple things that work here. One, I think there's probably some behind the scenes relationships with people in power that could make some inquiries about the health of a product, and I think that's very viable. There was a soft drink back in the day called Jolt that marketing campaign was twice the sugar and all the caffeine. Literally, it felt like you were drinking caffeine sugar soup, but it was a soda pop that kind of gave you a jolt, no doubt. Now, Prime, is supposed to be, or supposed to be, rehydration and treating electrolytes and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, designed maybe for high performing athletes. But you're right. They're marketing to, anytime you're sponsoring sports team, sports property, you're touching youth. And so you got to be very careful with that. It's why you see, when there is an alcoholic beverage or a betting partner that's the front of the shirt partner on a team, you see that anything sold in the youth sizes doesn't have that on there for that reason. And Prime is one that I follow these because I've got sons that are athletes and they don't drink Gatorade, they don't drink Powerade, they use liquid IV, or they use Pedialyte sticks, and they use something that's a little bit more scientific and less sugars, less bad stuff, so to speak. But it'll be very interesting to see kind of how this affects. At the end of the day, I don't think it's going to affect their deals that they have in place. But the question, at the end of the day, that those deals are going to play themselves out. The question is the consumer market going to be able to buy it and consume it in the quantities that are going to continue to justify the spending that they're going to be having? Because at the end of the day, you can market the hell out of a drink. The drink tastes bad and it's not good for you. You're not going to be around long. And so, if it didn't go through this, proper vetting to be launched, well, that's a whole different conversation, and there should have been a little bit more oversight in that, because you can't be marketing a product that's it's going to be damaging to your health, but also at the same time, there are beverage products that are marketed all the time that are that have aspartame in it and all that kind of stuff, and it's not good for you. So it'll be interesting to follow out, and curious to see if there's a backstory that comes up to see if there was any calls from Atlanta, Georgia, or Purchase, New York, to Mr. Schumer's office to say, hey, can't have this, need your help.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes sense. That's the world we actually live in today, so would not surprise me. But anyway, we'll see how that one plays out. Interesting turn of events, actually, from going such a high to all of a sudden now these senators looking out into your product.
Well,
it can get
sometimes
really messy from here.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes it's when you're lurking in the shadows, and you're kind of this challenger brand. They don't really worry about you until you kick them in the shin. Well, UFC, FC Barcelona. You want to play at their level? Okay, you just put yourself in the limelight, and now we're gonna scrutinize you a little bit more.
It's on for young and old. All right.
That's right.
Awesome. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Rob, once again. Awesome show. Interesting conversations as always. And we'll catch you all next week.
Yep. Quick one tonight. And thanks for tuning in, and look forward to circling back next week, and waiting to see all the exciting stuff the world of sports brings our way.
Take care, everyone.